My name is Katie, and I am back reading Feel Something, Make Something, a guide to collaborating with your emotions. I'm getting a little sweaty because it's all warm in here, but I cannot stop reading this book. I love it so much, so you're just gonna have to deal with my sweaty armpits because I'm a human being. So, let's move on to, okay, ready to make some things. Oh, I just love Caitlin's art so much. It says bill, parking ticket, receipt. There's a phone, a journal, a laptop, coffee, breakfast, yarn. First things first, you need a creative studio. Spoiler, it's a way of being, not a physical space. Let's make 2 lists. 1, all the supplies you'd like to have, your dreamiest studio. 2, what you actually need, the very barest essentials. I'm going to guess that you already have most of the essentials or that they are easily attained. If not, you might want to reevaluate your list of needs and narrow it down. Making things doesn't have to cost you oodles and oodles of time or money. Art making can be a glorious investment, but you don't have to make a grand gesture to be invited in. In fact, I'd argue that the surest way to the heart of your muse is through a steady and quiet commitment to listening and responding. Fancy materials and expensive tools don't come with a manual for how to notice, process, and feel. You are your most generative and useful resource. To be clear, I have a well-stocked studio. I'm no minimalist when it comes to art supplies. But the fact is that the everyday, self-expressive, feel it, make it work I create usually happens on the fly at the kitchen table with last week's grocery list and a nearby highlighter. Conditions are rarely perfect. I don't luxuriate in uninterrupted time behind a closed door very often. After all, feelings come when you're in the car, at the park, in the shower, before bed, in waiting rooms, and when you're paying bills. They don't wait until you're perfectly organized with a juicy budget, fresh cup of coffee, and hours of time at your disposal. That would be so convenient. My aim is to support you in conjuring the conditions necessary to engage in ritual, document, converse, express, and disrupt anytime, anywhere. If I have a pen and paper, I've yet to find a place that can't become my studio. I can fold, draw, write, trace, scribble, tear, construct, and crumple, so I always have notebooks and favorite pens at the ready, Pilot for size V7 bought in bulk. I tuck them into the center console of my car, frequently used tote bags, kitchen drawers, on my nightstand, and in the fruit bowl on my dining room table. There is a tiny sketchbook that resides in my fanny pack, a larger one in my backpack, and a sweat-stained moleskin with my yoga things. I'm strategic about always having my basic tools within arm's reach. Building a studio for yourself is as much a mindset as it is a collection of the right conditions, lighting, and materials. It's one part having access to the essentials and one part using whatever the heck is lying around. Making a studio wherever you are means both placing the tools in your path to create and removing obstacles from your mind. These are some of my favorite resources for getting in the right headspace. The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, Bid Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, Your Illustrated Guide to Becoming One with the Universe by Yumi Sakagawa, The Creative Habit by Twyla Tharp. One of my favorite makers is Adam J. Kurtz, who fashions heartfelt and wondrous artifacts with the simplest materials and in the smallest of spaces. You don't have to be anything more than who you are right now. You don't need anything besides what's right around you. Draw with a stick in the dirt and take a photo of it. Bam, you just created something. You know who else created the most magnificent, expressive, and important thing out of whatever was lying nearby? Basquiat. Might be saying that wrong. Cool name. His work always stops me in my tracks. I got to see a collection of his early work a few years ago. Stunning guttural gestures on everything from torn paper and cardboard to milk cartons and discarded metal cans. My God, it was so magnificent. Here's Adam J.K. and Jean-Michel Basquiat. I'll show you my list of studio essentials. I'm going to break them into my back pocket, my tote bag, a drawer, and my whole ass desk. Things I carry in my back pocket: pen, tiny notebook, keychain, pocket knife with tiny scissors, my phone, and a keen eye for materials I can use on the fly. You can take/edit photos and videos, jot down notes, watch YouTube video tutorials, read about a topic you're interested in, look up quotes, connect with creators on social media, etc. What's in my backpack? Journal, sketchbook, pens, and other writing apparatuses, sticky notes, iPad and charger, snacks, water bottle, and at least 3 books that I'm in a various stage of reading. I'm a firm believer that a well-fed and hydrated body makes the best things. Remember, your body is a book, a canvas. It contains memory, knowledge, intuition, your lineage, and so on. You are your dearest resource and your most precious tool. In short, you're a fucking work of art by simply being alive. Tend to yourself well. Things I keep in a drawer of my own. Rulers, envelopes, stamps, sticky notes, scissors, X-Acto blade, glue stick, bone folder, tape, and more snacks, of course. How do I fill an entire desk? Candle, incense, pictures, plants, scanners, printer, light box, hourglass, Sharpies, love notes to myself, and if possible, a nearby shelf with my collection of books and tarot cards. It's getting increasingly loud outside. We'll see how this goes. Tutorials. These practices forms have been around since forever, but I do have my own little flair, and I'm excited to walk you through my process. I'll share some tutorials, tips, and prompts. So here's some art around zines, line contour, line drawing, self-portraits, manifestos. Zines. A zine is the most magical thing. It's a tiny publication, usually handmade, about a specific topic. A zine is just a little book or magazine or pamphlet. Anyone can make one about anything. I love zines because they feel like the perfect container to hold my biggest and messiest feels. So there's a photo of Caitlin surrounded by all sorts of zines. It says, this is one of my faves. Cheerio box lid. A lot of folks have a copy of this. Airline ticket and string. Tools. 1. Foldable material. An envelope, pocket, notebook paper, receipt, copy paper, a large leaf, etc. 2. Mark making tool. A broken crayon, nail polish, pencil, Sharpie, etc. Non-essentials, extras. Needle, thread, scissors, bone folder. Oh, I don't know what that is. That's cool. Oh, for poking holes in the paper. Ruler, scanner, printer, copier. Zines are a perfect medium to validate our feels because we usually recognize books and things that resemble them as real and true. We can legitimize our tenderest ideas, worries, fears, and longings by simply giving them a place to live on a page. I folded these kinds of zines down from more materials than I can count. A receipt, paper torn out of my sketchbook, a sticky note, magazine page, napkin, flyer at the DMV, envelope, 3x5-inch cards, scraps from the recycling bin. The magic of the zines I'm going to share with you is that they adapt to any scale and proportion. So long as the material will fold and tear down, it'll work. Have you ever wanted to write a book? Do it now. Make the damn thing. There are no rules. Want to create a magazine about the fantastical inner workings of your home? A monthly publication about the process of growing your banks? Do it. Make a zine about a memory, a place you love, your favorite foods, a guide to something you are brilliant at, your values, or a photo essay. Share an idea you're excited about, a love note to friends, or tell a story. The options are endless. So grab the nearest scrap and get started. So it says, 1 page, saddle stitch, accordion. The idea of you turning this page and making a zine has me clapping my hands and squealing like a gleeful toddler. 1 page zine. This zine is my favorite and only party trick. I'm incredibly awkward in social situations, especially when hanging out with strangers, so trust that as soon as I find a segue, I'll be pulling paper out and getting everyone to fold down a tiny zine. I've been making these for years and they've yet to lose their magic. One moment you have a piece of paper and the next you're holding an 8-page zine. 1. Get a piece of paper. 2. Fold it in half like a hot dog. 3. Open it up. 4. Fold it in half again like a hamburger this time. 5. Fold both ends up to meet the middle crease. 6. It should look like this when it's unfolded. 7. Fold your paper back to a hamburger and cut like so. 8. Using both hands, pinch and slide down and out to create a shape like this. Then fold it around and in half to make your very own zine. So cool. Accordion fold zine. Remember when you were a kid and you'd fold a piece of paper down into a fan, but you'd always have the bit at the end that was just a little too long or short? Perfectionists rejoice. I have the perfect way to fold any piece of paper into evenly spaced sections so you never get an awkward tail again. The trick is to fold both sides at the same time. Fold the paper in half long way. Fold each end into the center. Fold flaps out to edges. Flip over. Fold back into center. Fold back in half from center. And then you get this. Accordion zine. B-stitch zine. A shockingly simple binding that looks so polished and fresh. I love using this needle and thread binding for a little extra pizzazz. Try it with thread, ribbon, yarn, or string. You can also ignore the stitching part and just use a rubber band around the stack. Just cut, tear, and punch little notches at the top and bottom of the center fold to hold your band. Try combining different sizes of paper stacked together. Let it be playful. 1. Gather a stack of pages any size. 2. Fold them in half all together. 3. Open them up. 4. Poke 3 holes along the fold. 5. Starting with the center hole, push your needle and thread through. Make sure to leave a generous tail. 6. Pull your needle back through the top hole and then push through to the back through the bottom hole. 7. Finish by pulling your needle and thread back through the center hole and tying off the tail. And you have a little book. Smells so good. I think my landlord is clearing the space in the other room. It smells delicious. Okay, here are some examples of zines. An ode to pizza, it's okay to be okay. Things to do when you're anxious. Morning delights, things that don't suck about waking up. A collection of fears for safekeeping. It's okay to be sad. Drink water, take your meds. Line contour line drawings. My dearest practice and steadiest friend. I first learned this style of drawing my freshman year of college. I hated it because I had so little control. Now I love them for that very same reason. The honesty and truth of these lines, my absolutely perfect inability to lie, drawing precisely what I see without looking. This is sacred work. Of all the practices, processes, and mediums I've explored over the years, this one has been the most transformative. These drawings are the most intimate ritual and have changed my life. It says, I am all of these. Tools. 1. Mark making tool, pen, pencil, marker, etc. 2. Surface to write on, notebook, scrap of cardboard, 3x5 inch card, sticky note, canvas, etc. 3. Reflective surface, mirror, front-facing camera, or another person. Does anyone even have mirrors like this anymore? I don't. The practice. Situate yourself in front of a mirror, or another being, or a front-facing camera with a pen and paper. 2. Take a deep breath and look yourself in the eye. Take your time here. 3. After acquainting yourself with your reflection, take your pen in hand, focus your eye on one specific part of your face, and begin to draw yourself in one continuous line. Let your eye trace the lines of your face, focusing on the edges or contours. Trust your hand to follow along. 4. Try to keep your pen and gaze in sync. Do not look at your paper or lift your pen until you have completed your drawing. Try your best, it's hard to resist. 5. When you're finished, jot down whatever you are thinking or feeling at that moment. This will be the title of your portrait. Don't overthink it. Try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Draw as many portraits of yourself as you can. Title each one as you complete it. So the various portraits say, Worn AF, great, another day to live. Hello, as you can clearly see, I'm totally fine. Ain't got time. Sigh, we okay? I'm hanging in there. Are you though? I'm fine, it's fine. Don't wake up the baby. Okay, let's do this. 5 minutes of portraits. 2/17/2021. Self-portraiture. I am of the persuasion that almost all art making is self-reflective. Every little thing you consume, delight in, capture, produce, share, or pause to wonder at, it's all a mirror back at you. But since we need a place to start, let's define a self-portraiture as a photograph you take of yourself, okay? Here, we might ask, what's the difference between a self-portrait and a selfie? Some days I'd argue they're the same, others I dance with separating them. You can decide for yourself. Tools. Camera, your body. Any kind of camera will do. Film, instant, digital, or your trusty phone. It feels wrong to tell you how to take a self-portrait. It's the most intimate form of art making, in my opinion. What I want most for you is to feel unburdened by prompts or ideas, for you to simply be with yourself and capture what you find there. Taking portraits of myself is a spiritual practice, evidence of my existence, power over my image and my body, and an acknowledgement of all that I hold within me. Okay, so to the section it says, what I want most for you is to feel unburdened by prompts or ideas, for you to simply be with yourself and capture what you find there. And there's a little note that says, hope it will be for you too. Here are some prompts if that feels useful to you. Play, 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 play. What positions feel good for you? What kind of light do you like? What is it like to be in charge of how you are represented? You are your own audience. What does that feel like? How do you want to be seen? What is it like to be in your body? What form is gender taking for you today? What shapes can you make with the form of your body? What objects feel important to you? Can you integrate them into your portrait? How much of your body needs to be in the frame for it to be a self-portrait? What's the difference between a selfie and a self-portrait? Where do they coexist? Why do we call one art and not the other? What are you trying to capture in each? Does it matter? Make it ceremony. Make it a ceremony. Spend time alone. Get acquainted with yourself. Take a hot shower or bath. Consider getting friendly with yourself. Engage in your favorite forms of self-grooming and adorn yourself in whatever manner makes you feel the most. You feel me? Don't make a fuss. Make a practice of not making a fuss. If you get flustered, that's okay. Let yourself be that way. Let it be as messy, frenetic, and obsessive as you feel. The only wrong way to do this is to overthink yourself out of it. Capture emotion. Take a photo when you feel happy, sad, lonely, angry, excited, anxious, etc. How does it feel to have stills of your face from various stages of being? Did the act of taking a self-portrait relieve or intensify your emotions? Make a collection. Try taking a photo of yourself at the same time every day or in the same position or place. Build a collection based on time, space, posture, or another constant to give yourself gentle structure. Play with mirrors, your phone, disposable camera, Instax, Polaroid, DSLR, or any other means of reproducing your likeness. Let it be light, let it be fun. A sip of water. Manifestos. A manifesto is a personal guide, a reference, directive, and reminder. A line in the sand and flag held high. It is an extension of your body and should be written somatically. Manifestos take many forms. Yours might look like a poem or a list. Perhaps it's just a few short lines that capture your values, or maybe it goes on for pages. This is the first manifesto I ever wrote. I started by writing all the messages I received as a child and teen. Then I whitewashed over it and rewrote the truth of my existence. tools. Any apparatus for recording words, pen and paper, computer, typewriter, your notes app, audio recorder, or any other means of capturing your beliefs, desires, and values with language. Time and space for self-reflection. A personal manifesto is a living, breathing document, morphing and evolving just like you do. As such, you don't have to worry about it being perfect. It is forever a rough draft. Write as though it is already done. Use declarative sentences. Be direct, or maybe that isn't your style, in which case be poetic, dramatic, or flowery. The only rule is that there aren't any rules, unless you need them, and then you should create a framework for yourself. Trust your own process. Write in full sentences and paragraphs, or allow yourself to distort and reframe the language you use. Write freely. Do not censor yourself. See what comes out of the depths within you. Then arrange your words in any form that makes the most sense. These are the phrases and fragments you will stretch to guide your consciousness forward. Allow yourself to be surprised. Two of my favorite artists, Marina Abramovich and Sister Corrida Kent, wrote different but equally brilliant manifestos about how to be an artist. I love seeing the various ways folks order their values and beliefs. It's like getting a copy of the map they use to orient their lives within this weird, wild, wonderful world. Look for manifestos written by your favorite humans, past or present. What can you learn about them based on the guidelines they've set out for themselves? What kinds of rules, boundaries, frameworks, guides, etc. do you want to declare for yourself? Here's Marina Abramovich, Sister Corrida Kent, and then Lisa Congdon over here. Speaking of values, Lisa Congdon co-created a stunning deck of cards with Andrea Niculescu, exploring 78 different values. It's an amazing resource for establishing what matters most to you. This is a brilliant place to start your manifesto writing journey. Try writing a manifesto from your core values, then reference it when you're faced with decisions big and small. I like doing this quarterly so I can get super specific about what matters to me in that season. You can write as many manifestos as you want for yourself. Try ones that apply just to right now or a certain facet of your life, as well as broad overarching guidelines that might last a lifetime. In my opinion, the most important part is that it remains malleable and adaptive. Check in often to make sure your actions and values are in alignment. It's a sticky feeling to be operating outside of the things that matter to you. Are you experiencing a dissonance of theory versus practice in your life? I'd first check to make sure the beliefs and values you're holding on to are actually ones you want to carry. Then see how you can shift your life to better harmonize with your values. Intuitively respond to these prompts, then ask yourself why. Why does this matter, and why is that, and why, and why, and why? Remember the mind mapping flow on page 58? Reference it as you respond to these prompts. I recommend long, messy lists, writing intuitively, and using your whole body when you can. Hang sheets of paper on the wall and use a thick Sharpie so you can write big and bold. Allow yourself to take up space with your language and body. What do you want to attract? What do you fantasize about? What guides your beliefs? Where did they come from? What are you running toward? What do you run from? What exists in the tension in between? What makes you angry? What do you want to repel? My darlings, your work doesn't have to be good or make you any money. You need only to feel deeply and give it form. Your marks serve as evidence that you were here, alive, and in the world. Let the process soften you. Feel something, make something, rinse and repeat. I hope you create lots of perfectly ugly, terrible, beautiful things. All my love, Caitlin. P.S. Tear out this tiny guide to keep handy for when you're having a feel. Here's a wall of art, and then this tiny zine says, so you're having a feeling? Now what? You open it up, it says, I am feeling blank. Name your feelings or feelings. It has taken up residence in my blank part or parts of your body. On the spectrum of high to low, my energy mood is, there's a moon that says melancholia, depression, numb, or frenetic, anxious buzzing with the sun. I will make blank. Open for ideas to things to make as a way to sustain, nurture, prolong, channel, direct, transmit, shift, alter, convert my feelings and find a steady place within myself. So you check one of these or all of them. Fold down a scrap of paper into a zine, scribble your feelings into it, let the weight of being alive in this world rest on the page. Take a photo of the sky and remember that all that exists in this very moment. Type furiously into your notes app instead of sending an angry text. Find a mirror and draw yourself. Turn on your favorite music, sing at the top of your lungs, dance, write a poem, write a letter to your past self, future self, write to your heroes, write a manifesto. Meditate, breathe, stretch, drink a glass of water, make a collage, comic, or color an entire page with one crayon. Draw your friends, take a photo of your favorite tree every day for a year. Scratch shapes into the dirt with a stick. Whenever you feel something, pause to make something, anything. It's so cool to have a whole zine in a book. On the back it says, here is a little bit of paper to keep in your pocket or desk for moments when you're having a big feel. For more, you can follow at Caitlin Has Feels. Highly recommend doing that. A few incomplete words about the folks who have championed me in my work. Sarah Neville, my God, there aren't words. You have been unrelenting in your care of me and this book. I owe you more than I even know. How are you real? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's never stop making things together, okay? Danielle Deschenes, thank you for carrying these pages over the finish line. You saved me from myself, truly. Luisa Francavilla, Via, Joyce Wong, and Chloe Arya, thanks for spell checking my ass and doing all the mystical behind the scenes magic that gets books onto shelves and beside tables. Y'all are the real deal. Laura Lee Mattingly, thank you for seeing me and the possibility of my ideas, for advocating and cheering. You're the first pick on my team now and always. Kaplan Trudeau, Ian King, and Unhai Mayang. Sorry if I mispronounced that. My kindreds, my loves, thank you for being with me through the many stages of doubt, triumph, and terror while making this book, as well as every other creative endeavor I've pursued. If I'm ever brave or kind or honest, it's because you've taught me how. Hal and Diana Metz, for giving me a childhood filled with art supplies and trees to climb. Thank you for cheering me on, even when you don't understand or agree with me. I love you forever and always. Kirsten Metzling-Ming, for taking every panic call, frantic text, I couldn't find the word I was looking for. When I couldn't find the word I was looking for. How is your vocabulary so good? You're my best and favorite sounding board. I love you, Pookie. Scott and Tracy Gilligan, for loving the bean so well while I labored over these pages, for believing in my work, for my studio. My gosh, what a gift. Andrew Gilligan. Sorry. My quiet champion. Sometimes I forget how integral you are to my practice because of how seamlessly you fill in the gaps while being completely unaffected by my success or failure. You are the anchor that steadies my sail. Thank you, my love. Charlie Metz Gilliland. You were just a whisper inside me when I pitched this book, and now you'll be nearly 3 years old when these words come into the world. This journey has been slowed and perfected by your presence. I couldn't imagine it any other way. I love you, sweet bean. Feel make. Oh my gosh, it's over. Ah, I feel so happy and so sad at the same time. Okay. Feel something, make something. If you don't already have your copy, pick one up. I'm going to talk to Caitlin about starting a group around this book because it feels necessary to do this in community and to have it be collaborative, even if it's just collaborative in the sense that there is space held for you to do this work with yourself, because this is big work. Big feelings require a lot of presence and patience and acceptance, and I think that happens most fluidly in community or with really active support. So that's in the works. And I hope you enjoyed this. I definitely did, and I will see you again soon.